Welcome back, traders. So we have a new event coming up very soon here, and that is going to be the Lunar Event, the Year of the Rat. So we have Minccino and Darmanitan on screen here. So the Minccino is going to actually be through a task day in which I have all of the tasks here. So we're going to be going over that so you can prepare accordingly, as well as going over how good Darmanitan is going to be here. So this is going to be a really fun event. As you can see, their pre-evolutions here, pretty cute little things here. And as far as Darmanitan is concerned, as we've always been going over as well, it is going to be the best fire type attacker once it is released, and you will be able to encounter shiny Gyarados in the wild. Yes, there is no tricks, no anything else behind it. Simple as that. Gyarados can be in the wild and it can be shiny. So that's going to be a pretty hype thing for newer players. Personally, for myself, if I find one in the wild, that'd be pretty cool. Let's go over the information here. This event is going to be starting January 24th at 1 p.m. and going till February 3rd at 1 p.m. So as you can see, certain red Pokemon will be featured. We're going to be going over more of those here in just a moment. And then if you're lucky, you may encounter a shiny Gyarados in the wild. Darumaka will be featured in the 7-kilometer eggs, and this is going to be revolving around gifts as well. We're going to be getting more into that, as well as tips on things that you should possibly be trading, because, well, lucky trades are going to be increased. You are also going to be able to get rare candies from opening gifts. It's a nice little perk there, as well as increased chances of lucky friends and increased chances of Pokemon becoming lucky when you trade them. Fantastic. Like I said, we're going to be going over all the Pokemon that I think you should be focusing on regarding trading, as well as lucky trades that are secure. So for the Minccino Limited Research, this is going to be going down February 2nd at 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. local time. So make sure you prepare accordingly for that day. It's going to be going down on Sunday. So much like the ever popular Lotad Community Day, Feebas Community Day, this is going to be the same basically, right? So going over the Minccino coming out of 5-kilometer eggs, that will be hatching out of those more often, and then after the event they will also be hatching continuously out of the 5-kilometer eggs. Obviously not every single one, but you have a chance, as well as it possibly being shiny after the event. So that's pretty neat. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Pokemon that will be spawning for this research day. Beautiful image made by Orange Heart here. So the Pokemon that we do have lined up for possibly shinies, as well as that are going to be coinciding with the tasks that you need to complete, as you will see here shortly. So the possible shinies that you can find that are going to be increased spawns are going to be Rattata, Pikachu, Sandshrew, still need that one, Nidoran, male and female, which is pretty neat because I can always use more of those because I like that family shiny. And then Sentret, Zigzagoon, Plusle, and Minun, everybody's favorite shiny to get. And then Patrat. And then you have those other Pokemon that will be spawning alongside those for that specific task day. So that's pretty neat. Honestly, I'm just going to be tapping on those Sandshrews. I'll be tapping on all of them, most likely completing the task. So let's get it. Let's see what we have going on. So moving on to the tasks themselves, thanks to Pokeminers. And as usual, I have links in the description to their Twitter so you can check them out. So you can prepare for the Minccino task day. Let's go ahead and see. We have use 3 berries to help catch a Pokemon, catch certain amount of normal type Pokemon, catch a Bidoof or Patrat, catch a Pikachu, Plusle, or Minun, catch a Rattata or Sentret, catch a certain amount of normal type Pokemon, battle in a gym, make certain amount of curved throws, make certain amount of great throws, make certain amount of great throws in a row, make certain amount of nice throws, make certain amount of nice throws in a row, battle in a raid, defeat a Team Go Rocket Grunt, spin certain amount of Pokestops, and use a super effective charge move in a gym. So these aren't so bad. If you do not find one that you can complete fast enough to your liking, delete it. But then we can go back to the problem that people had from those other task days, and that is going to be the lack of Pokestops in your area. Say you have a bunch of tedious ones. Well, unfortunately, I'm just going to urge you to complete them. If you don't have too many Pokestops, well, then you were limited on options. So basically, you're going to have to do those. But that does not alleviate or take away the problem that you're not going to have too many Pokestops in your specific area. And if you're one of those unfortunate trainers, I'm sorry for that. And I really hope you're able to get yourself that shiny Minccino, but luckily there'll be an eggs afterwards. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Darmanitan. This thing is hilarious. Really liked using it in the main series games. It was an absolute beast. It looks like a monkey that ate a beach ball, as well as eating a bunch of spicy foods. So it is going to be a pure fire type, max CP 3105, attack 263, that is big. And then we have defense at a low 114, and then stamina, which is picking up that lower defense at 233. It's going to be weak to ground, rock, and water, resisting bug, fairy, fire, grass, ice, and steel. For its quick moves, we have Tackle, what an awful move, and then Fire Fang, which is going to get Stab, and it's decent. And then for the charge moves, we have Focus Blast, Overheat, Psychic, and Rock Slide. So right off the bat, we can see it has 2 fire moves to make it a viable fire attacker, which we all know because it's going to be the best one. Psychic for a bit of coverage, Rock Slide, that's not bad. A little bit more coverage, I suppose. But I can't wait for this thing to be released. I am going to power one up and bring you the power of course. This is a safe Pokemon I would assume to go with, seeing that it does just have that one stage, and I don't think we're going to get a community day, right? And then taking a look at the best fire type performers, we have Reshiram at the top, which is not released with Fire Fang and Overheat. But then looking at Darmanitan with Fire Fang and Overheat, it has a DPS of 16.7, a TDO of 393, and a DPS times TDO of 2,199. That's big right there. Then Blaziken is going to be right behind it, ever so slightly, with a DPS of 17.2. Chandelure with a DPS of 17.1. Volcarona, which is going to be big when it's released, with a DPS of 16.9. And then Embror, and then Moltres sitting way down there. So you can see the performance, and the DPS times TDO is not bad at all. So this is going to be something you're going to want to actually possibly lucky trade, because we're going to have the increased chances of getting lucky Pokemon when we trade, as well as an increased chance of becoming lucky friends with people. So now we're going to go ahead and go over Pokemon you may want to start trading once this does roll out. So let's go ahead and just take a look at all my lucky Pokemon. Mewtwo is Sight Strike. I wouldn't say that's number 1, but it's an absolute safe option. If you have a shiny mirror trade that will become lucky, go ahead and do that. Now, looking at some of these legendaries that have not received their signature move, basically all of them, you can do those. I mean, but just do it in moderations. Don't do a ton of them, right? Garchomp, or Gibbles at least, is going to be a decently safe option. I don't know if they're going to get a community day. I know people keep saying, well, Pikachu had the shiny release. What about that? There's that exception right there, so Gibble is still a possibility. Yes, and I have a video about that. We'll be talking about that more. Metagross, a safe one. Definitely, obviously with Community Day Meteor Mash, you want to make that trade as a lucky, but definitely a good one. I think we're going to get a Rhyhorn Community Day, so you may want to do a couple of those just to prepare. If you don't have a Rhyperior, or if you don't have a good one, I suppose you can evolve it all the way up, because it does perform great going up against the Rocket leaders in PvP and in raids even. Rayquaza, absolutely fantastic option for sure. If we were to wait on all of these legendaries for their signature move, we wouldn't have any. So just go do a couple of them if you're not already stacked on them. Giratina right here is going to be another good option. I think the only thing you'll be missing out on is when they do release the shiny. You'll just have to make another one if you're into that kind of stuff. But as it is right now, fantastic choice. As you can see, I have a ton of those lucky. Raikou, another pretty good option here. Very good electric type attacker. Of course, a lot of these Pokemon are going to get beat in the future, but we need them now, right? Conkeldurr, here we go. This is something you definitely want to do. For one, you're going to have to trade them to reduce it to 0 candies to evolve it into that stage. But not only that, well, it's going to be lucky at this point, so it's just going to cost you less Stardust, and it's a fantastic option. A little bit behind Lucario, but it's still great. Rampardos, another fantastic one. I did have those Mamoswine from the community day. Wouldn't really say go ahead and go for that one out of your way. You may want to go for others first. Chandelure, absolutely a definite go. Will it receive a community day? Definitely, I would put money down on that. So maybe you want to prepare Litwicks. Maybe you just need a Chandelure in general. Go for it. And then we have this little guy here, Excadrill, another fantastic choice to go with because it is going to be the best ground type attacker. It is going to be a bit squishy, but it will be putting in work. As you can see, my second Conkeldurr here, I will be powering this up. Let's go ahead and top it off. I do believe after this, I'll just need the 215 power-ups, and then we're complete. But this one here is going to be at 98%. I was so excited. This wasn't even a lucky trade. It's a lucky Pokemon, but it was just a random trade. We kind of warmed it up. We did, I think, 1 or 2 trades before this, And then this happened. 98%. Woo, blew my mind. So yeah, powering that up, and I will purchase a secondary move. Purchase a secondary move on my other one. Oof, that was a big mistake. Should have waited. And then I have my Armor Mewtwo. I wouldn't really say go for this one here. This is just my collection, right, as a whole. And I'm just throwing out suggestions. Gardevoir, I mean, not so much. Machamp, not so much anymore either. Electivire is another decent one you can definitely go for. Let's just get out of here and let's move on down. So Roserade, it's going to be the best grass type as well as best poison. You can't go wrong with it. I don't feel like it's underrated, but it's not talked about enough. I mean, it's the best poison type as well as grass type. It's a beast. Let's go. Roserade. It's absolutely fantastic. Kingler, another sleeper here. Well, we all know by now that it's the best water type attacker as far as DPS is concerned. And we'll take a look at all of my lucky Krabbies that I have prepared and ready to go for whenever I decide to make them. Riolu, another one you can do. Make sure you purchase that secondary move before you evolve it. It's going to be a whole lot cheaper as Riolu. Please do that, okay? You're going to regret it if you don't. Otherwise, it's going to be 75,000 Stardust and candies. But that's a solid one to definitely go for there. And moving down the list here, obviously everything you're seeing is not stuff you really want to go for. This is just my lucky Pokemon in whole. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and take a look here. Just a random stuff. Yeah, I'm not the kind of person who's trying to fill like the whole decks. Let's just go by number and scroll down so you can see what I have. I like those Persians, as you can tell there. A ton of Machamps from back in the day, of course, and Gengar. Gengar is another one that you may want to actually go with, or just silly Pokemon in general. It's up to you guys. I'm just throwing out suggestions. But since you can TM into Shadow Claw on your Gengar, it's not a bad option. I wanted to max out a Grimer at one point. Do believe the Alolan one's going to be more ideal, but don't quote me on that one. I have to go back and check. But yeah, Gengar with Shadow Claw can be TM'd, another good option as well. As you can see, all my Krabbies ready to go. I do have a full team. We have 6 of those Crab Hammers. So don't think I'll ever get around to maxing out all of them, but they're there if I need to. It's going to take a lot of, resources, and we have other good water type attackers. Plenty of Scizors there, Sceptiles. Community Day Pokemon are going to be a good option. If you evolved a bunch just lying in wait to trade people, go for it. Make sure you mirror trade though. A Salamence with Outrage, it's going to be another great budget Pokemon. I wouldn't even call it a budget. I mean, it's rare if you did not participate during the Bag on Community Day, but personally for me, I'm all set. But moving down the list here, as you can see, plenty of Metagross. Definitely at least in the top 3 of what you should be lucky trading for sure. Got a bunch of Rampardos. And, alright, look at the Gibbles. CD. I still think it's going to get a Community Day. I think it is. And like I said earlier, I'm going to put out a video. I'm not going to get too specific because I don't want to release too much details and somebody else makes it. But I have a theory as to what's going on with Gibble. Okay? And take a look at what I have going on here. I'm stacked. I'm stacked on them. I may have even transferred about 5 that were just too low. As you can see here, all pretty decent. I hatched quite a few of them. That's where I'm getting the majority of these Gibbles. And there are a few spawns here and there. That was a good PvP one, as a matter of fact. Just holding out because you never know. That Community Day might roll around. And that's going to be the end of them there. But yes, I have plenty of candies. And I'm looking great on those. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends if you found it useful. And please comment down below if you have any tips for me or videos that you would like me to cover. And then we do have the Toxicroak here. Lucky, this is a nice one too. I'm going to be getting it to Best Buddy, and it will be at $24.99, but it does get very specific to what IVs you have, because if you have a better one than that one there, it will go over once you do become Best Buddies. So make sure you look at the IVs accordingly, and that's going to be the end of the list for my lucky Pokemon there. So there you have it. The ones that I would focus on, if I didn't have too many, honestly, would be Gible, Metagross, Rampardos, Mewtwo. There's Moltres even. There's Dino for Hydreigon. Definitely Hydreigon is something for sure that you want to be focusing on. More of its pre-evolutions, right? But I just don't have that one lucky because I simply have one. I invested all the candies and just made it myself straight from a hatch. Conkeldurr, yet again, another solid one. Brand new. It is a great fighter, and fighters are always amazing in Pokemon Go to attack those gyms and specific raids. Chandelure. just going over brushing up your Lucario, absolutely. You can't go wrong with that. But there you have it, trainers. Thank you for watching, and I still need to max out the Dialga. I don't know why I haven't. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Take care.